Last-minute instruction from a standing Bobby Crimmins across the way. If Georgia Tech were to win today, it would mark not only their 4th ACC tournament championship, joining their first ACC regular season championship outright, Randy, but going into the NCAA tournament pairings announced later today, it would really top one of the more remarkable turnarounds in college basketball.
7 losses in the first 13 games, and at the time, a lot of fans and a lot of reporters and a lot of us thought that some of those 7 were rather devastating. Turned out to be character builders.
Larry Rose from Corlane, Virginia is our referee. This is his 2nd ACC title game. Dick Paparo from Baldwinsville, New York, one of the umpires. This is his 8th tournament final. And Frank Scagliato from Bangor, Pennsylvania, the other umpire. This is his 4th championship. Lenny Wirtz from Westerville, Ohio, has the tournament record. He called 15 ACC tournament finals in his illustrious officiating career. Lenny, don't know if you're in Atlanta or in Georgia today listening, but you are missed at this event this year. Larry Rose in between Eddie Alisma and Tim Duncan. Crowd to its feet here at the Coliseum. Ball in the air. Alisma tapped it. Duncan caught it on the way down. Peral's got it. Wake will move to our left, north end of the Coliseum. Georgia Tech in a man-to-man. Alisma on Duncan straight up. Back to Rutland against Stephon Marbury. Alley-oop toward Duncan. Catch and lay in is good. 2-0 Wake Forest. Here's Marbury hustling it right back into the front court. Tech will try and move the tempo in this game up very quickly. Here's Barry, head of the circle against Rusty LaRue. Right wing it comes Stephon Marbury. Down to Alisma. Eddie rolling in the lane. Shot over Duncan. Off the back iron, no good. Tim has the rebound behind Marbury. Quick outlet ahead to Rutland. Let's see if Wake elects to push it as well here on the offensive end. Just better than 38 seconds gone on the Mayor and Berkeley Rolex score clock. Peral down to Duncan. Off the right low block. Turning jump hook with the right hand. Good. Tim Duncan 4. Georgia Tech nothing. We played 51 seconds.
2 touches, 2 hoops.
Here's Marbury. 3-pointer from out on the left. Good! Marbury answers with a bomb from over the top of Tony Rutland. 74th triple of the year for Stephon. 4-3 Wake Forest by 1. Deeks get an early look at the hot shooting Jackets from behind the arc. Here's Rutland at the right side. In the corner it goes to Peral. And we get a hold on Matt Harpring. Whistled by Dick Paparo from out on the perimeter. First on Harpring. First team foul of the ball game goes to Georgia Tech.
Minute 12 in, Matt picks up his first one. Got in some foul trouble yesterday. The Jackets not Matt in particular.
LaRue inbound to Duncan. Now to Rutland. Dave Odom stomping his right foot to get the Wake Forest offense called to his sophomore point guard, Tony Rutland. Out in the midcourt area, shot clock to 22, 21, 20. Rutland going foul line, head fake. Kicks out LaRue. 1 dribble long. 2 is away and good. Rusty has struggled, averaging only 6 here in the tournament, but he extends the Deacon lead to 3 again, 6-3. Here's Barry up top of Alisma. Left wing Harpring against Ricky Peral. Matt down the lane, scooped it up with the right hand. I believe it got partially blocked there by Duncan. Deacon's off with it, leading by 3. 1:50 gone here in the first half on the Mayor and Berkeley Rolex score clock. It is a block for Duncan, his first of the game. Tim is averaging 4 a contest here in the tournament. Had a half dozen against Virginia. Duncan inside scores and draws the foul on Michael Maddox. And Wake Forest is off to an unbelievable start, Randy.
Doing exactly what they want to do on offense. That time, Duncan took the bounce pass left side of the lane. And when he gets it there, he's big trouble, obviously.
Tim hits 69% at the free throw line. And with Wake Forest leading 8-3 and 2:01 gone by in this first half. Duncan ready at the line. Tim arches up. It's nearly a line drive. It hit off the front of their iron and bounced in. 7 of Wake's 9 belong to Duncan. Leads a half dozen. Marbury's only, has Tech's only points on a 3-pointer. Stephon, bounce pass Alisma. Left wing Drew Barry. Up top here's Maddox against Sean Allen. Right wing Harpring by Peral to the baseline. Bounce back to Alisma at the wing. Now to Drew Barry with 16 to shoot. Here's Maddox faking the 3. By Allen for 2. Shot is up, no good. Duncan's got the rebound. Tim will put it to the floor. Bounce ahead to Rutland. Here's Wake running. And it went right through the wickets of Rusty LaRue. Went right through his hands over the near side out of bounds. And that's the first turnover of the ball game. And it goes to Wake Forest.
Notice how Wake Forest knows immediately where Michael Maddox is after yesterday's red-hot start by Maddox from outside.
Maryland couldn't find him in the first 20 minutes. Marbury, bounce pass to Alisma. Left wing Drew Barry against LaRue. Bounce pass to Harpring. Matt backing down on Peral. Back to Barry. Long 3 from the top. Off the mark, no good. And Wake is holding Tech to 1 and out. Randy, that's Duncan's 4th rebound.
He owns it right now.
9-3. Deeks by half dozen. Nearly 3 minutes gone. Here's Perral holding high at the right, up top to Tim Duncan. One dribble, wraps it around to Allen. Backing down on Maddox, put it up, got it blocked. Right back to him. He'll roll back in, scoop it up with the right hand, and got the roll.
Just the opposite of yesterday. Jackets were up by 8 zip, down by 8 now, 11-3.
Here's Marbury in the front court at the right side against Rutland. Stefan down the lane, scoops it up with the right hand, won't go. Duncan's got another rebound, that's 5. Here's Tim hustling into the front court at the left side. Crosses back to Rutland. Three-pointer away, and it's good. Bobby Crimmins. Nope, let's run the offense. I thought the coach may go for a 20, but trailing 11. Here's Georgia Tech, Randy, and like in Virginia a couple weeks ago, the Jackets don't really look to be panicking. Here's Maddox inside, pushing foul on Sean Allen, who wanted to travel.
And then patted his chest and said, yeah, okay, yeah, I did bump him.
First on Allen. Wake crowd wanted to travel as well. This Coliseum partisan to the Deacons today, as you might imagine with the close proximity of the Twin Cities. Here's Barry at long range. Up top, Marbury by Perral. Hanging, dumped it inside, and Ricky fouled him, reaching in. Peral's got no chance against Stefan on the perimeter, Randy.
Unfortunate there that the foul occurred because Harpring was wide open and Stefan found him. Would have been an easy 2.
Timeout on the floor. All Wake Forest here early. The Deacons lead by 11 on the Journal-Constitution scoreboard. You're listening to Yellow Jacket basketball. 16 minutes left to play first half. Wake Forest with an early 11-point lead. 14-3, 7 from Duncan, 3 from Rutland, 2 each, LaRue and Allen. Randy Waters.
Yeah, they've spread it around after it was Duncan getting Wake out of the blocks early, getting off to that lead. So the Jackets have all sorts of problems, not just Tim Duncan. They have to concentrate on stopping a multifaceted Wake Forest attack, and they got to come out a little higher on the perimeter and try to get in their faces.
So Georgia Tech, 1 of 6 from the floor. That's Marbury's 3 for their only marker here so far. Wake Forest 6 of 7. They have out-rebounded Georgia Tech 6-0, including 5-0 at the Jacket glass. Harpring will put it in play after the foul on Perral, which was his first. Team foul number 2 against Wake Forest. Georgia Tech has 2 as well, 1 on Harpring and 1 on Michael Maddox. And Wake Forest, who used a 3-2 yesterday, Randy, zone-wise against Clemson, I don't imagine we'll see that today.
Unlikely, maybe once in a while just for a change of pace, but that's about it.
Harpring lobbed to Maddox, midcourt area to Barry. Drew looking for help, bounce pass to Michael, lost it, got it back to Drew, a 3 away from there. Off the iron, no good. Elisma tried to tap it home, knocked it over the inline out of bounds. Harpring talking to Maddox as they move back with the defensive end of the floor. Dave Odom, I'm not sure if he's called an offense or wanted a foul. If it is, that's the strangest offensive signal I've ever seen. Here's Allen to Perral at the high post on the right side, and he traveled with it. Ricardo's parents are over from the western shore of Europe to see him play for the first time in the States.
Here from Spain, getting a taste of American basketball.
Boy, do they come to the joint to get that.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell you what, that's like finding a good restaurant. Here's Barry at the left side. Right wing to Harpring, working against Perral. If Matt could get an alley, I think he'd take it. There it is, going to the baseline. Hanging jumpers away and good. I've already about got him on my all-tournament team for his 22.5 points and 61% from the floor in the first 2 ball games here in Greensboro. He's 1 of 2 today. Tech's deficit is 9. Here's LaRue running down a loose ball from Rutland with 20 to shoot. 5 minutes gone. First half on the Marion Berkeley Rolex score clock. Rutland sliding in the lane. Hanging jumper from the foul line. Off the mark, no good. Perral got the long rebound. Back to Rutland. He'll whip it to Allen. Up front, Duncan. Left wing, LaRue. Against Drew Barry. Caught in a double team. They skip it back to Perral. Foul line to Allen. Off of Harpring. Here's LaRue for a long 3 that's good. That's his 53rd triple of the year. Wake Forest now 17. Georgia Tech 5. A dozen the Deacon lead here with 5.5 gone by. First half here in Greensboro. Maddox high post. Or up top now to Harpring, who backs it out on the perimeter. Now to Drew Barry. Drew works through to Michael Maddox. Looked at the 3, skips it here to Harpring. Got Perral on him. Matt hands to Drew Barry. Works through the head of the circle, spins back down the lane on LaRue, put it up off balance, wouldn't go. Duncan's got another rebound, that's a half dozen. Outlet coming to Perral. Tried to go to Allen. He'll spot up for a 10-footer that's good. 19-5. And the Deacon faithful are on their feet here at the Coliseum.
Well, Westwood at 7, 9, 10, 11, something like that, but it's getting in dangerous territory now.
Here's Marbury working at the right wing. Long three away. Good. Stefan cranks home his second triple. 75th of the year. Tech to within 11 now at 19-8.
Who do you want to rescue you from danger? I'll call on him.
I'll take him. He's on my team, yeah. If I had to choose at the playground, that'd be the guy. Him and Harpring, I'd take those guys. Allen up top, working against Michael Maddox. Back out to Rutland in the midcourt area. Down low it goes to Duncan. Working on Elisma. Tim, I don't know if he's seen anybody quite as quick as Eddie Electric here in the first two games. Right back up top from Rutland. It comes to Duncan with 4 to shoot. Tony in trouble. A huge, long three. Off the mark, no good. Allen commits another foul. Sean's got his second. And that'll really take the Deacon presence on the offensive glass out of play now, Randy, as long as Dave Odom would like for him to be in the ball game, because without Sean Allen in there, they're in a good bit of trouble in terms of their offensive rebound. Peral just stands out on the perimeter.
Yeah, not physical at all, and Allen is Duncan's right-hand man.
Gary Saunders has come in for Michael Maddox now. Saunders has played well, the freshman from Brother Rice in New York City. Harpring a three out of the right corner off the mark. Elisma's tap follow won't go. Duncan's got his 7th rebound here of this first half. Tim on the outlet to Rutland in the front court at the left side. 12:40 to go. It's Wake Forest 19, Georgia Tech 8. Opening half at the Coliseum in Greensboro. Rutland up top. Duncan, a long two that's good. Just a long two from Tim Duncan. 9 for the big fella. 21-8. Randy, there's serious talk. He might come back for his senior year, too.
I'm surprised. Of course, I don't know all the factors involved in his decision,
yep.
but I'd say he's ready.
13-point lead for Wake Forest. Barry to Marbury against Tony Rutland. Stefan, another three, and it's good. 9 for Marbury. He's got 9 of Tech's 11. Can the freshman bring him back?
He's keeping him in it.
Wow. 8 minutes gone by in the first half. Wake's got no answer for Marbury. Here's Peral against Saunders. That's a handful for Ricardo. Now LaRue at long range. Away to Rutland in the right corner. In it goes to Duncan. On Elisma, turning in the lane. Handed to Allen. Had it blocked and fouled by Eddie Elisma. Elisma's going to draw his first. Team foul number 3 against Georgia Tech. Ironically, the 3 team fouls belong to each of the frontliners. Here is Jerry Braswell coming into the lineup for Wake Forest. And Tony Rutland sits down.
Eddie doesn't talk very much, but he's upset with that one.
Yep.
He worked hard. He had to defend Duncan, left him, went over to go on Allen, the shooter, and got called for the foul. And he had conversations with, I don't know if he caught all 3 or not. He caught 2 out of the 3.
By the way, here's Allen at the line. 2 shots, 71% free throw shooter. Averaging 3 points, 3.5 rebounds in the tournament. Free throw no good. Wake Forest hits 70.7 as a team. Tech 70.5 at the line. Allen originally signed at South Florida. Didn't work out there with the Brahma Bulls of Bobby Paschal. Went to Anderson Junior College, and a hang-up on a religion course cost him along with mononucleosis last year. Missed them both, by the way. 21-11. Here's Marbury in the lane. Rusty LaRue with the assignment on Stefan. Here's Drew Barry. They brought Braswell in to match up with Gary Saunders. Here's Harpring at the left side against Sean Allen. Matt lost the handle on it, runs it down in the left corner to Barry with 17 to shoot. 11:22 to go first half. Wake by 10 at 21-11. Here's Marbury at long range. Shot clock at 8 against Rusty LaRue. Stefan, another long three, short. And the tap out belongs to Harpring. Matt got the rebound back, bails it out to Barry. Right back to Harpring, a 2-pointer. That's good. 3, I beg your pardon. He was out beyond the arc. 5 for Harpring. Tech to within 7. 21-14. Dave Odom shouting instructions to Rusty LaRue. Here's LaRue working against Barry to the left side. Back to Peral against Marbury. Peral in trouble to Sean Allen. Against Matt Harpring. 1 dribble now Braswell, who's been hot. Jerry, away it goes to LaRue with 13 to shoot and 10:37 to play. They'll close the angle on LaRue. Here's the double team on the screen. Harpring knocked it away. Going to be whistled for his second foul. That'll be team foul number 4 on Georgia Tech, Randy, and that may bloom to be large as we move on here. Timeout on the floor. 10:32 to go. Georgia Tech to within 7 of Wake Forest at 21-14. Let's check in with Edgar Tragetz on the Journal-Constitution scoreboard.
Okay, Wes, Kansas looking for their first Big 8 tournament championship since 1992. Underway from Kemper in Kansas City. 14:40 remaining first half. Iowa State leading the Jayhawks 6-5. Elsewhere, 3 o'clock tip-offs from the SEC Finals in New Orleans with Kentucky and Mississippi State. The Big West Conference Championship has Utah State running with San Diego State. Regular season play at 3 o'clock. Big Ten with Michigan State at Indiana.
Stephon Marbury's long-range artistry is keeping the Jackets there, down 21-14. He's hit 3 out of 4 three-pointers, 3 out of 5 overall from the field. Jackets as a team considerably cooler than in the past. I think Wes mentioned earlier they're shooting over 50% here in the tournament. They're 5 out of 15 right now, so only 2 field goals other than Marbury, and Harpering's got both of those.
Tech hitting 53% coming in. Wake Forest 43.5. Jackets 48-7 from behind the arc, 20 of 41 through the first 2 games, and 78-6 at the free throw line. That may be the figure that gets you most. And knock on Formica or whatever your favorite tabletop surface may be. No turnovers yet, and they've played nearly 9.5 minutes of this first half. Wake has got 2 turnovers of play. Peral and Michael Maddox has returned, both for the Deacons. Goolsby's in, the fine sophomore from Marietta who played there for Charlie Hood at Marietta High School. Barry knocked it away from Braswell, but he recovers midcourt area. It's a guard game now, Randy. Looks like after the early substitutions by either bench. Here's Goolsby up top to Peral against Barry with 14 to shoot. To Braswell, in it goes to Duncan against Alisma, and Tim shuffled his feet and traveled with it. Maybe, third turnover against Wake Forest.
Maybe a little bit of Eddie's lobbying paid off. I don't know.
Perhaps. Here's Marbury now. Working into the front court. Right side, now back to Barry. Bounce pass Saunders. Gary down to Alisma against Tim Duncan. We'd like to see Eddie just turn and burn it one time in the lane. Here's Barry. Backdoor layup. Marbury wouldn't go. Alisma tried for the tap. Second foul. A little different for Eddie today, going over Tim Duncan than Obina Akizi or Todd Fuller. Duncan's got that All-ACC moniker and All-America moniker with him as well, so you're battling a lot more than the guy down there sometimes.
Duncan affected Stephon's shot. I don't think there's any question.
15 foul on Tech, second on Alisma, but Bobby Crimmins has got to go with his very athletic big man out of LaSalle in New York. Here's Duncan, whips it across right corner. Rutland, a 3, high arcing jumper is good. Tony Rutland's got 6, 24-14, back to a double-figure lead for Wake Forest. 9:15 to go. Certainly the Deacon tempo here through the first 10 minutes and 45 seconds of play. Barry, bounce pass to Alisma against Tim Duncan. Eddie faces up, takes him down, lost it on the way up. Duncan recovers. Got a shot away, though. I don't believe that'll be a turnover against Georgia Tech. It is a turnover. First one for the ball game on the Jackets. Harpering back to the table for Coach Crimmins. He'll get in just a moment. Here's Duncan. Away to Braswell at the left side. 10-point Wake lead. Now to Tim against Michael Maddox, who's got 1 personal on him. Duncan holding high, put it to the floor one time. Now faces up. Maddox reached in, knocked it away. Tech will scrap for the loose ball. Michael had it. He and Peral battling. Jump ball belongs to Georgia Tech. The more Peral stayed in that one, the worse he was going to lose, I think, Randy.
Yeah, if it turned into a wrestling match, he had a hold of a bear.
He had the bad angle on the reach around to try and tie up for the loose ball. Had they not blown the whistle, Michael would have took it from him and then probably bounced it out of trouble. Harpering has checked in for Alisma, by the way. So Eddie will sit down with the 2 personals. 5 team fouls on Georgia Tech, 3 on Wake Forest, 2 on Allen, 1 on Peral for Dave Odom. Barry, left side, it comes to Saunders, into Maddox, backing down on Duncan, turning, shooting, and scoring.
Over it.
Turned and took him right to the baseline and went up over the top of the junior from the Virgin Islands. 24-16. Tech back to within 8 now with 8:09 to go first half. Very slow start today for the Yellow Jackets, but now contesting Wake Forest at each trip. Here's Braswell out on the left side. Now in the corner it goes to Peral. I've got to believe that Wake's experience a year ago against Carolina in this building certainly paid off in the first 5 or 6 minutes here today. Rutland out in the midcourt area with 4 to shoot. Working on Marbury. Lost it over the end line. It'll belong to Georgia Tech. 5th turnover on the Deacons. And, Randy, we don't see Rutland get frustrated very much either on TV or in person, but Marbury's doing it right now. 7:43 to go. Journal-Constitution scoreboard has Wake 24, Georgia Tech 16 on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
Tony Rutland just tried to take Stephon Marbury down the lane, tried to beat him off the dribble. Might as well try to beat daylight when the sun comes up. Let's try to do that. No luck there. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
WCNN North Atlanta. We keep track of all sports, so you don't have to. Sports Talk 680, The Fan.
When the ball bounced off Rutland's leg, it gave Georgia Tech possession. When we come out of the timeout, it'll be Jackets' ball. They have trailed by as many as 14 at 19-5 when Ricky Peral hit a jumper, a 2, not a 3. They've closed it back to 8 at 24-16 on the Michael Maddox jumper over Tim Duncan on the baseline. And as I said, the ball will belong to Georgia Tech.
Shoes on the other foot here a little bit from yesterday when Maryland made their run to get back close. Then Tech found an answer. Now let's see how Wake Forest responds. Now with Tech a chance to cut it to a half dozen, maybe 5, depending on shot selection here, Randy.
Momentum can swing back and forth. You got to be strong enough to hold it off either direction.
Here's Maddox, left side. It comes to Drew Berry against Braswell. Up top, Gary Saunders. Now to Marbury, rolling around against Rutland. Stefan's been fantastic here early. Tried to go back door to Saunders. Gary couldn't hang on to it. Turnover number 2 sends it to Wake Forest. Now Tech will have to get a defensive stand as LaRue spells Braswell. Just a quick check there. Just a quick run for Jerry Braswell. A little surprised. Averaging in the tournament 6.5 points. He's 3 of 8 3-pointers, hitting 31% from the floor. But LaRue has been outstanding here early, has 5, and came in averaging 6 through the first 2 games. Goolsby. Up top it comes Sean Allen. Couple of dribbles to the high post on the left. Away to LaRue at the right side. Rusty a hit fake, and we get a foul off the ball. Whistle by Larry Rose against Michael Maddox.
Trying to check Duncan.
Bobby Crimmins asked Larry Rose, what's he doing? By the way, the 16 fouls, 2 each on the 3 frontliners. Kind of tells you the tempo of this thing. 7:04 to go. First half on the Mayor Berkeley Rolex score clock. LaRue, long 2, good. 7 for LaRue, and it's back to 10 at 26-16. Marbury hustles into the front court. Stefan nearly took Rutland on the angle. Had Harpring there, though. Bounces around the mat against Sean Allen. Harpring working on Allen. Left side, right wing Maddox. Back to Harpring, a 3-pointer. That's good. Matt Harpring drains his second triple. 8 for the Harp. 26-19. 7-point lead now for Wake Forest. Deeks have got the ball, though. Front court at the right with Rutland. Against Marbury. Tony, bounce pass to Allen, rolling in the lane. Took it up, traveled with it. That'll send it back over. Dave Odom really upset with Dick Paparo's call.
Well, Matt Harpring established, as you say, Wes, the plane of verticality. Hands straight up, that his feet weren't budging 1 inch. And Allen kept trying to move him, couldn't do it. Shuffled the feet in that attempt.
Well, I try to teach you a few new things every time we come on the air. Here's Marbury down the lane. Tried to wrap it to Harpring. Offensive foul as Stefan gave up position to Sean Allen. On the charge, his first, team foul number 7, player control foul, though, and no free throws at the 6:14 mark. Allen is coming out of the lineup, and Ricardo Peral is coming in. Allen is the only Deacon with more than 1 foul. Wake's only got 3 team fouls. They're going to give Allen free throws on an offensive foul. So Allen has got to come back into the game. Sean Allen has checked out for, it's not Duncan at the line, it's Allen. Nice try, Tim.
What's that? That is number 7, huh?
That's 7, but I thought a player control foul. But here we go. Allen is 0 for 2 at the line today. That's why Duncan stepped up there after watching Sean miss the first one and hit that one. 3 now for Sean Allen out of East Wake High School in Knightdale, North Carolina. And now they want to clean off the basketball, so they'll summon a towel from one of the attendants on the North basket support. They get it wiped off. Must have had the real ugu on there or something.
Well, maybe whatever was on there was helping Wake. They're 11 out of 14.
Next one, no good from Allen. Harpring's got the rebound. They broke his karma when they took the ball and wiped it off. 8-point lead for Wake Forest. 6:06 to go before the break. Here's Maddox and Goolsby holding Gary Saunders. Stephen knows he did it, too. Comes away smiling, looking off into the ceiling here at the Coliseum. 4th team foul on Wake Forest. Allen is out now, and Peral has checked in. And Drew Berry, who has been very quiet, no points as of yet from Berry. Inbounds, Maddox, layup, Marbury. Boy, nicely done. Harpring to Maddox to Marbury.
Best ball movement we've seen all day.
11 of Georgia Tech's 21 belong to Marbury. 27-21, Tech to within a half dozen again, Randy, with 5:45 to go.
Close as they've been since it was 9-3.
Yep. Here is Rutland at long range on the right against Marbury. Bounce pass to Duncan. Rolling baseline, jump hook away and good. 11 for Duncan. 29-21. 8-point lead. Here's Marbury into the front court with 5:23 to go, first half. Stefan wheels it to the left of the circle. Back to Maddox, a 3-pointer. That's good. 5 for Maddox. Tech to within 5 now. Wake is trying to trade 2s for 3s, and it's not working out. at the defensive end of the floor for Dave Odom. Jacket faithful that are here are excited. Here's Peral up top. Bounces around Duncan. Turning, shooting. Won't go. Got batted around. They scrap for it. Tim recovers. Now in trouble. Stepped on the inline out of bounds.
Maddox and Harpering had him boxed up.
7th Wake Forest turnover this first half. And now trailing 5. Here come the top seed. Marbury into the front court at the right against Rutland. He'll take Tony to the bucket. Layup with the right hand. No good. Stefan may have had it bothered from behind by Duncan. Here's Rutland to LaRue. He traveled with it at the right wing. Another turnover against Wake Forest. 2nd in a row. Boy, Marbury just blew by Rutland, but I think Duncan may have bothered him from behind coming over.
He's a presence in there. You don't see Rusty LaRue make a mistake like that very often. He had a 3 on his mind.
Here's Maddox. One dribble to Barry at the left side. Tried to get it to Saunders. Goolsby paying attention to him. Here's Harpering on Peral. Matt rolling toward the baseline. Up and under on Peral. Harpering wanted a foul on Ricky. Didn't get anything. Here's Rutland racing it the other way. Got it to LaRue. He scooped it up. It wouldn't go. Duncan inside. Got it. Put it back up. Wouldn't go. Tap follow is good. Tech fans wanted a foul on Duncan going over the back. He's pushed the Tech deficit to 7 at 31-24. 4 minutes left to go first half. Marbury away to Saunders. Left corner, Drew Barry. Thought about the 3. Skips it right wing. Marbury a 3 over Goolsby. Too strong. Saunders with a rebound. That may be Tech's just 2nd or 3rd offensive carry. Marbury behind LaRue. Back to Saunders. He'll fake. Long 2 is no good. Duncan's got the rebound off the weak side at the left. 3.5 to go. Opening frame. Wake Forest can push it to 9 or 10, depending on shot selection here.
Duncan has a double-double. 13 points, 11 boards.
Gracious alive. He's been a monster in there. Here's Rutland, a 3. It's good. It's 10. 34-24. Randy, that's what I was talking about yesterday. Maryland, remember, worked it close. Tech then came up with the big buckets. They've gotten a follow from Duncan and now a 3 from Rutland. 5 in a row by Wake Forest. 34-24. 3 minutes left. Saunders, Marbury, Drew Barry passed on the triple. Back to Drew. Long 3 from the left. Off the mark, no good. Duncan with a rebound. Outlet to Rutland. Front court at the right side with 2:48 to go first half. 34-24. Rutland again. The bomb good. A dozen for Rutland. Timeout. Bobby Crimmins, a 20-second timeout with 2:36 to go. And Wake Forest has run off 8 in a row to make it a 37-24 lead.
They got 6 of those 8 outside with Rutland, and Duncan had to follow. Tim Duncan, as you mentioned a few moments ago, Wes, when he is on the boards, he is very aggressive, and the Tech faithful thought should have been a whistle there a while ago, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. You can't worry about it. Got to work on him and try to box him off. He has, as you described, been a monster on the board. That is a failing here in this first half of play, trying to keep Duncan out of position. It's been awfully tough to do. Foul trouble on Elisma. He sits back down on the bench. With the Jackets' smaller lineup in there, Duncan looms even larger.
.234 to go after the 20. Saunders, right corner, Harpering. Back to Gary at the wing. Wake in a zone now, Randy. Up top, Maddox a 3. Went in, came out. Got tapped around, and last touch by Ricky Peral. It'll belong to Georgia Tech.
Saunders kept it alive, kept after it, battling a couple of deacons, namely Duncan and Peral.
Timeout on the floor. Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Wake Forest 37. Georgia Tech 24 on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
It's 4 out of 5 out there beyond the arc, by the way. And the Jackets, who had closed it to 5 at 29-24, back within 1 of equaling the largest deficit, which was 14. It is now 13 at 37-24 with 2:20 to go. And again, still the small lineup in there. Eddie Elisma on the bench, Michael Maddox in the middle. Saunders joins Barry, Marbury, and Harpering.
Tim Duncan may be approaching a finals record for most rebounds. He is already 1 shy, had 20 a year ago in overtime against Carolina, and that was one behind the late Ron Shavlik of NC State many moons ago. So we'll have to keep an eye on the record books for Tim Duncan. He has got already a dozen here in this first half of play, and we've got 2:20 left to go. Barry on the inbounds to Maddox. Tech working door right at the south end. Saunders, Harpring against Perral. Right wing, Marbury against Goolsby. Stefan up top. Here's Drew. Left corner, Harpring, a 3 over Perral. Short. Tech has lost their shooting touch here in this first half. Perral sprinted the length of the floor, gave up on the rebound chance, and Rutland held tight on it and didn't try for the home run. LaRue, midcourt area to Duncan against Maddox. Now to Goolsby against Gary Saunders. Right side, here's Rutland. Looking into Duncan. Maddox is really causing havoc for Big Tim. Here's LaRue. Back up top. Perral nearly traveled with it off the head of the circle. Got it to Goolsby for 3. Off the mark, no good. Duncan kept it alive with a tap to Perral. And Ricky Perral got a gimme underneath. 39-24, Randy, the biggest Wake lead, right?
It is indeed.
15 with 1:20 to go before the break. Saunders to Marbury. Stefan against Rutland. Here's Stefan down the lane, takes it all the way in. He got knocked to the deck and no whistle. Here's Rutland. Midcourt area, fires a look away to LaRue. Back up top, here's Perral, and he did travel with it that time. They didn't get him the last time, they got him that one. That is turnover number 8 on Wake Forest, 9 on the Deacons here in this first half.
I almost get the impression that some anger may have to cause some adrenaline to flow here for Georgia Tech, because again, on the ball that Duncan tipped to Perral, Michael Maddox felt that Duncan came over him as Maddox checks out and Bucky Hodge is in.
So Hodge will go the final 57 seconds. Eddie Alisma's over there already with a couple. Harpring's got a pair of fouls as well. And then 1 foul on Marbury for Tech 7. Here's Harpring against Perral. Matt working at the head of the circle, backs it out. He'll take Perral down, work to the baseline. Jumper partially blocked. Duncan collects inside. Here's Rutland into the front court. Dave Odom wants a 20, and the Deacons will burn it right here.
Oh, Rutland didn't want a 20. Rutland wanted to go.
Yep. So Georgia Tech trailing 15 again at 39-24 as Wake Forest in a 20-second timeout here, Randy.
I mean, Rutland
in the final half minute.
Rutland looked up and called that timeout with anger. He did not want it. He wanted to get going. I can't blame him in a way when you're up by 15 and got the opponent on the run. Why, he wanted to keep it going.
Duncan's got 2 blocks. Perral 2 blocks here in this first half of play for Wake's 4, but 9 turnovers by the Deacons. Just 3 for Georgia Tech, 2 for Marbury, and 1 for Eddie Alisma. Wake Forest 16 of 23, 69.6%. Tech is just 9 of 29 for 31%. Their worst half field goal percentage, the second half at Kentucky in early December when they were 6 of 25. Let's see what Rutland and Dave Odom concocted over there on the sideline. About an 0.8 of a second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. Rutland at long range against Marbury, waiting on Perral. Tech double team. There's Harpring switching on the screen. Now here's Rutland against Harpring with 4, 3. Put it up over the top of a leaping Hodge. Wouldn't go. Goolsby got it. It's on the deck, and the half comes to a close. Wake Forest used 2 big runs, one at the start, Randy, and one here in the final 4 minutes to take this lead to the locker room.
Game being played at Wake's pace, but that is not really Georgia Tech's problem. The problem is getting out and defending Wake shooters. They are incredibly hot, almost 70%.
Edgar Tragetz in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard, Al Seraldo and Barry Jacobs when we continue from Greensboro with the Deacons by 15 at the break on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
To duck themselves a 15-point hole, looming over that and looking down at the image of Tim Duncan, 15 boards, 13 points, 4 assists, 2 blocks here in the first half. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
WCNN North Atlanta. Turn us on for the best sports coverage in Atlanta. Sports Talk 680, The Fan.
With Randy Waters, this is West Durham. Tim Duncan's first half performance, Randy. 15 rebounds, 13 points, 4 assists, 2 blocks. And Duncan is 5 away from tying Ron Shavlik, the late Ron Shavlik of NC State, for the most rebounds, 1 player in 3 games. Shavlik did it in 1955. Clemson 15. He had 18 against Wake Forest, 21 against Duke. And Duncan is also just now 6 away from tying Shavlik for the most rebounds ever in a final. Tim had 20 a year ago against Carolina. Shavlik had 21 against Duke in 1955.
Duncan has yet to be whistled for a foul.
Yep.
We might also note, Wes.
So it'll be all out for Tim Duncan and Wake Forest. They have got a huge lead, 15. Tech on 31% from the floor. Wake Forest 66.7 on 16 of 24. Duncan out-rebounded Georgia Tech 15-7 in the first half of play. The Jackets got but 4 on the offense and 3 on the defensive end.
Well, Drew was scoreless, Eddie scoreless, Michael 5, Matt 8 points, and Stefan 11 points in the scoring column for Georgia Tech in the first half.
Peral, LaRue, Rutland, Duncan and Allen, Berry, Marbury, Alisma, Harpring, and Maddox. Second half underway here at the Coliseum. Tonight at 6:30 on many of these stations, the Road to the Meadowlands, Final Four pairing show in conjunction with Capital Sports Network. I hope you'll join us for that from here in Greensboro. LaRue left of the circle for a 2. In and out, no good, and Alisma's got a rebound. And for Eddie Alisma, his second of the day. Front court comes Georgia Tech. A lot of work to be done by the white-shirted Yellow Jackets, moving to our left toward the north basket here in Greensboro. Marbury in the corner on the drive, skips it to Alisma, quickly right wing Berry, fakes on LaRue, skips it to Maddox. A 3 from the left is off the mark, no good. Rusty LaRue with a rebound from in front. 40 seconds gone, second half. No scoring either way yet here in this second half of play. Duncan at long range against Eddie Alisma. I would imagine Bobby Crimmins challenged his frontline guys during the break to keep an eye on 21, and let's see if we can't do a better job of stopping him on the glass. Duncan rolling baseline, jumper away, wouldn't go, and Alisma seems rejuvenated a little bit, Randy. High to get the rebound off the left baseline. Marbury front court. Stefan was fabulous in the first half, I thought, Randy.
Absolutely.
Alisma away to Harpring at the right. Inside, here's Michael Maddox. Skips it to Drew Berry. Bounce pass to Maddox. He'll roll on Allen. Put it up with the left hand, and it rolls in. He's had a great tournament, has Michael Maddox. That gives him 7 now in the ball game. 39-26, Wake Forest by 13. Deacons working here to our right. Peral at the left side in front of a squatted Dave Odom. In between assistants, Ricky Stokes and the former George Mason coach Ernie Nestor. To LaRue now. Bounce pass. LaRue looked to the bounce pass to Duncan. Couldn't get it to him. Bails out to Rutland. Rutland off a double screen. Now going to be caught by Marbury. Threw it away. Tried to go to Peral. Going to end up being a 2-on-1. Here's Harpring spotting up from 15 feet and banging home the jumper. 10 now for the Harp. 39-28. 2 minutes gone, second half. Tech's intensity is really up here, Randy, to start the second half.
It had to be. First couple minutes, very important to them.
Rutland picks up on the dribble. Hassled by Marbury. Got it to Peral against Matt Harpring. Back to Rutland against Stefan. Tony has got a dozen here in the half, at the first half horn. Allen looking for help. In trouble. Put it to the floor. If it didn't get knocked away, here's Peral for 3, and it's good. 7 now for Ricardo Peral, his 42nd triple of the year. That's his first three-pointer of this tournament. Marbury away to Berry. Alisma left wing. Harpring looking inside at Maddox. Back to Marbury against Tony Rutland. Just better than 2:40 gone in this second half of play. 42-28 Wake Forest by 14. Here's Harpring rolling in on Peral. Scooped it up, wouldn't go. Got knocked away. Harpring banged up against the basket support. Tech fans wanted a foul. Got nothing from Larry Rose right there having a look at it. Duncan, left side it comes LaRue against Berry. Into Duncan. He'll catch and dunk on Maddox and draw the foul. 15 for Tim Duncan. Maddox draws number 3. Personal foul, or team foul number 1 on Georgia Tech in the second half. And Duncan to the line to try and complete another three-point play. He hit his only free throw in the first half.
Think he'll make the all-tournament team?
Oh, I tell you what, win, lose, or draw, it'll be tough to keep him from being the MVP, Randy, at this rate.
Yeah, even with a big Tech comeback, if that would happen, it would be tough. You're right.
Last non-winner to claim the MVP award, 1980, and Albert King from Maryland, who was phenomenal in the championship loss against Duke. Here's Berry, a runner off the right baseline, won't go. Jackets get it knocked around, and Allen recovers, and then Berry commits the reach-in foul. First on Drew, and you hope that the Danville, California senior, Randy, can keep his confidence here in the second half. It's been a tough first half for Drew Berry. He missed all 4 of his shots from the floor, including 3 threes. Did have a couple of assists and a steal in 20 minutes of play.
Well, if you are making a list of things going wrong, grows just a little bit.
Here's LaRue at the right side against Drew Berry. One dribble, then Duncan at long range. Alisma out to contest. Tim holding high against Eddie Alisma with 16 to shoot. One dribble away to LaRue. Quickly inside, here's Allen. He went all the way around, lost the handle on it. Harpring contested. Allen threw it away. Here's Berry on the run. It's a 2-on-2 ahead to Stefan. He'll take it down, lay it in on Ricardo Peral, who had no chance against the rookie.
And somehow stayed on his feet. I thought it would be Marbury going to the deck, but it was Peral who ended up down.
So Marbury cashes in on his 5th field goal of the ball game. And for Stefan, that will give him 13 now in the contest. He had 11 at the break on 4 of 10 from the floor. And here's his first trip to the line today. That's the 11th turnover on Wake Forest Tech had 3 in the first half.
They had 11. Wake Forest did 11 turnovers in the game against Clemson. Wes already got 11 here against the Jackets, but they're up 14.
Free throw by Marbury, good. 3 threes, 2 regular field goals, and now his first free throw. 44-31, 13-point Wake Forest advantage. Deacons want to keep the heat on the top-seeded Yellow Jackets. Here's Peral knocking Harpring away. Now to Allen, midcourt area against Maddox. Left wing Rutland arching up a 3 over Marbury. Too strong. Peral's got the long rebound. Bounces back to Rutland for another long 3 that's good. Gracious alive. He had 26 in the first meeting, and he's got 15 right now. Here's Alisma, and we get a foul off the ball, whistled by Frank Scagliotta.
Sean Allen.
It is on Sean Allen, and it is number 3. Second team foul against Wake Forest, and we get our first break in the action in this second half. 15:41 to go. Journal-Constitution scoreboard reading Wake Forest 47, Georgia Tech 31, and you're listening to Yellow Jacket basketball.
Still a 16-point mountain to climb for Georgia Tech, 47-31. Wake Forest over the Jackets right now with 1 tick better than 15:40 left to go here in the second half. Don't forget, Wes and I will be selecting the Texaco star of the game in the final minutes of today's game. The Georgia Tech Athletic Association would like to thank Texaco for their generous contributions to the Alexander Tharp Scholarship Fund.
Duncan has got 16 rebounds in the game now. That's 5 away from tying Ron Shavlik. 21 in the championship win over Duke in 1955, a record that the late Shavlik has now held in this its 41st season.
In answer to your question off the air, you're right, Buckner. He helped carry Clemson past North Carolina. We were talking about the all-tournament team and the votes, and some of them are very easy and very obvious.
Yep.
A couple of Jackets and a couple of Demon Deacons are very obvious.
And maybe a Tiger or a Terp, depending on how you might see it.
Yeah. Keith Booth
very impressive yesterday.
Greg Buckner really helped carry Clemson.
Here's Berry on the long inbounds to Harpring. Now to Gary Saunders, who's come in from Maddox. Back to Drew Berry, working at the left wing. 29 to shoot to Saunders. Right wing, Stephon Marbury. Back to Drew, looking for help. Left wing, Harpring. Left corner, Saunders. Duncan out to contest. Wake in a long zone there as Berry lobbed up the long 3. Marbury tried to get it, but Duncan took it away for rebound number 17. 47-31. He's 4 away now from Shavlik's record of 21. 5 away from breaking it. Here's Rutland on the drive. Jumper is up, and it is no good. It got tapped around. Marbury runs down the loose ball at the right baseline. Stephon back the other way. Head up on the break. Skips it to Berry at the right wing. Drew works down in the lane. Tried to go back to Stephon, who took off toward the baseline, and he threw it right into the Georgia Tech bench on Tech's 4th turnover of the ball game. Here's the remarkable thing. Turnovers we thought would be a key, Randy. Tech has done a marvelous job of getting something out of the offense on each trip. But the shots have not gone down. They've hit only 1/3 of their attempts today on 12 of 36.
But you can't chart Duncan's effect on some of those shots inside.
You're correct. Here's LaRue bouncing to Duncan, left of the lane. Tim rolling in the lane. Jump hook with the right hand's up and good. So Duncan now has got 17 in the ball game for Dave Odom's club. 49-31 with 14:25 to play. Wake Forest by 18. This is their largest advantage. Here's Saunders working against Goolsby. Gary tried to jump pass back in the middle. 5th turnover against Georgia Tech. 2 in a row. Here's Rutland ahead. And Tony lost it over the inline out of bounds. He never touched you. And Rutland is down, grabbing his right knee. But appears to be okay. Not in much pain. Tony will come to a sitting position. Just kind of flex it out there a little bit. And Tim Duncan squats down to check on his sophomore teammate. And they'll come out and have a look at Duncan as Jerry Braswell checks in from Cuthbert, Georgia, played at Randolph-Clay High School. Randy?
Well, Matt flew by him in front of him as Rutland was going in for the layup, and because of that, I mean, we had Rutland's back to us.
Yeah.
We could not see in front of Rutland exactly what occurred, but he was grabbing his knee before he actually hit the floor, Wes.
I think Harpring and Rutland banged knees on the play.
That's very possible because he literally was grabbing it on the way down, which means it's not like he landed.
49-31. Here's Alisma. Away to Harpring at the left side against Goolsby. Up top, Drew Berry lost the handle on it, but recovers. He'll take it down the lane. Runner with the right hand won't go. And Duncan's got the rebound off the weak side. Just a tough day for Berry, Randy. He's had some good looks, and they're just not going in.
Frustration's building.
Yep. Here's LaRue at the far side. He'll skip it to Braswell in the left corner for a 3. That is off the mark, no good. Berry's got the rebound. Let's see Drew pick it up here in the open floor. He'll take it all the way down, skip it to Harpring in the right wing. Back up top, Marbury for a 3. It's good. Stephon Marbury now, 6.5. He had 11 at halftime, and he is really adding on to now 17 points in the ball game from Marbury. Remember, it was just Marbury, Maddox, and Harpring that scored in that first half for Georgia Tech. 49-34, 15-point Wake Forest lead with 13-18 left. Here's Duncan working up the right low post, spins to the baseline. He stepped out of bounds. Exactly the kind of move he made in Winston-Salem. Tim wanted the push. Not going to get it from Frank Scagliotta. He stepped on the inline out of bounds, and here's Marbury rolling into the front court with a right-hand dribble. Stephon to Eddie Alisma, to Drew Berry at the left wing. Has Harpring at the block against Goolsby. Crosses to Alisma. He'll put it on the floor up over the top of Duncan, and it rolls in. First bucket for Eddie Alisma today. 49-36. The Jackets trying to hang in here, Randy.
Well, it's been that kind of a day where you think you maybe just get it to 10 and then keep at it.
LaRue working against Berry's pressure. Picks up on the dribble. Got it to Goolsby with 12:38 to go. Count is on. Goolsby working baseline. Bounce pass to Duncan against Alisma. Up top, Peral, a high arcing three that's good. Peral now with 10 in the ball game after not scoring in the Wake Forest win in Winston-Salem and only getting a half dozen in Atlanta. He's got double figures here today. 52-36, back to 16. Here's Berry lobbing from Maddox against Peral. He'll back him down, turn, shoot, and score. Michael Maddox. 9 now in the ball game for Maddox. 52-38.
I don't see any towels being thrown in off that bench over there yet.
Nope. The intensity has picked up. Berry on LaRue. Drew has really come out now and trying to force Rusty LaRue to make decisions well out into the midcourt area just as he breaks that timeline. Here's Braswell lobbing for Duncan. Here's the double team coming. Duncan put it up, wouldn't go. Alisma slapped it around. Tim got it back, put it up and scored. Duncan, who had 13 at halftime, has added to it now with 19 in the ball game for the Deacons. 54-38, 16-point Wake lead. Here's Maddox again against Peral. To Berry at the wing. Up top, Marbury against Braswell. Stephon takes Jerry down, spins in the lane, bounces to Maddox, pumps it, took it in the lane, got stripped away. Ball is loose. Maddox scrapping for it, found it out. LaRue comes up with a loose change. He'll baseball it into the front court behind Braswell, who makes a come-from-behind catch at the near side. To Duncan, Peral now back to LaRue near the timeline. Wake fans to their feet, applauding the effort by Dave Odom's club. Here's LaRue coming to the left side. Threw it away from Goolsby. It'll be another turnover on the Deacons. And will we get another timeout here in Greensboro? Indeed we will. 10:57 to go. Wake Forest 54, Georgia Tech 38. Check in with Edgar Tragich now and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard.
Okay, Wes, a good one from the Big 8 final in Kansas City. 17 minutes to go in the second half. Iowa State leading Kansas 36-33. Set to go at 3 p.m. the SEC final in New Orleans, Kentucky and Mississippi State. Big West final matching Utah State with San Diego State.
7 to go in the ball game in Greensboro with Randy Waters. This is West Durham. Wake Forest 54, Georgia Tech 38. The Jackets here in this second half, Randy, are shooting it just a touch better. They are 6 of 11 from the floor in the second half.
Well, the ball movement has been a little bit better. The concern is still that Drew has just not been able to get anything to fall. And I felt like the last shot, he forced it a little bit on the run down the left side. The frustration might be beginning to show a little bit. But that has not showed up in his defense. He's still getting after it on defense. But let's face it, they're going to have to start doing some work outside from three-point range to get back in this thing. And I do not know if they can get their legs under them at this point to do that much. I don't know.
The word on Tony Rutland is mild knee sprain, and they don't know if he'll be back or not here today. Dave Odom down checking with his sports medicine folks. I thought they banged knees on the way in, but as Tony came to the deck, maybe it was something added to that. But it almost looked like the knees collided. Marbury with Saunders, Maddox, Alisma, and Harpring. Drew Berry on Bobby Crimmon's bench. Braswell, LaRue, Goolsby, Peral, and Duncan watching Marbury bang home a three from out on Market Street. Way in. Stephon's got 20 today now for Georgia Tech. And they may need every one of them here before we're done.
Might need 20 more.
Yeah, 54-41. 10:30 left to go on the Marion Berkeley Rolex score clock. Goolsby shot blocked. Stephen touched it last. It'll belong to Georgia Tech.
Stephon's 5 out of 7 in threes today, Wes.
You wonder what Dave Odom has told his team, obviously with this tournament experience and Odom in his 7th year on the Winston-Salem campus, that they will keep the intensity up. but also wonder if they've talked about another potential Georgia Tech surge here, Randy, in this final 10-15. Marbury backdoor over Duncan, won't go, but the first foul of the ball game is whistled on the big fella with 10-13 left to go in the contest.
There, and again, right there are 2 points. That
whoa, beg your pardon. It wasn't even on Duncan. It was on Braswell.
Yeah, but you're right, and Duncan affected the shot. So there are 2 points. It is now still 41 for Georgia Tech instead of 43 because of the presence of Duncan. Stefan had to alter the trajectory of that potential layup.
Marbury's free throw is good. Stefan with 21 today. Headed to his first NCAA tournament next week. 54-42. Jackets trail a dozen. And Marbury hits the next one 54-43. 10-12 to play in the ball game. Here's LaRue putting it in play against Berry, who's returned for Michael Maddox. Rusty into the front court at the left. Now with Rutland out, he will run the offense, and Tony's coming back from the dressing room. Here's Goolsby against Saunders. Back to LaRue against Marbury. Rusty looking inside. Got to get rid of it. Does so to Duncan. Cutting Braswell. Layup good. Right down the middle. First bucket for Braswell in the ball game. 56-43. Tech back the other way. Here's Saunders on the lead from Marbury. Put it up and in. Gary Saunders got his first points today, averaging 6.5 here in tournament play on 4 of 7 floor shooting. Saunders makes it an 11-point deficit at 56-45. Rusty LaRue shouting the offensive instructions to his Deacon teammates. To Goolsby at the left side. Center of the floor comes Perall. Now to Braswell at the right against Stefan. Down low, here's Duncan. A catch and shot that rolls in. Tim Duncan now has got 21 in the ball game. Marbury coming the other way. He'll take Braswell down, dump it back to Alisma, who had to run it down in the midcourt area to Berry. Left corner, Harpring against Perall. He's by Perall, lost it, and then lost it again. It got knocked in the air. Alisma recovers. Bounces out to Saunders. His two-pointer away. Won't go. Harpring scrapping inside. Matt goes around to the other side and scores. A dozen now for Harpring in the ball game, Randy.
Well, he's not giving up the battle, that's for sure. Duncan has owned it, but Matt's not going to let him keep owning it easily.
9-point lead. 11-point lead, I should say. 58-47. 8:30 left to go in the ball game. Here's Duncan to Goolsby. Saunders gambled, then knocked it away. Ball is loose. Marbury's out of there with another Wake Forest turnover. Stefan back the other way to Drew Berry. Need a three. There it is. Got it.
Maybe. Just maybe.
Tech now to within 8. Maddox slapping the floor over at the scorer's table, telling Gary Saunders to bear down, and Wake Forest wants a 20. The whole bench blows out onto the floor to greet Drew Berry. They know how much he's been struggling, Randy.
Well, when that one went down, if they're able to come back and do something here in the final 8:08, down by 8, that might be the shot that got the adrenaline pumping enough and got things back in gear. Drew has indeed struggled, but he took that one in stride. And who do you think got the ball up the floor in such a timely fashion that Drew had the open three? Marbury.
So Georgia Tech now to within 8, 58-50, with 8:08 to go. Randy, I would think the next 2-3 minutes may determine the outcome here.
Yeah.
Can the Jackets get all the way back?
Well, and I don't think there's much question about what Wake or who Wake will try to have bring them or keep Georgia Tech at arm's length. We'll look for him to go down low to Duncan here.
Here's Braswell, front court against Drew Berry. Tech did get Maddox back in the lineup for Alisma there a moment ago during the 20. Here's Perall inside, Duncan a catch, and Maddox fouled him. Michael Maddox commits number 4. Comes with 7:53 now to go in the ball game. Team foul number 3 on Georgia Tech.
Watch those two that time, Wes. And Duncan kept working and working, was this side of the lane. Spin went to the far side of the lane. Michael over there was trying to front him, and a reverse pivot, and he was back here and open for the shot.
Rutland gone to the dressing room and has gotten one of those knee sleeves and has put it on to hopefully help sustain the leg for the mild knee sprain as Duncan bangs home the free throw. That gives Tim now 22 in the ball game with 19 rebounds.
With the NCAA coming up, any questions about how big this is still in these players and coaches' minds? Him coming back in with a 9-point lead.
23. Yep, 23 for Duncan, Randy, in the ball game.
He's been brilliant, no question about that. And we've got a time on the court with the score on the Atlanta Journal-Constitution scoreboard. Wake Forest 60, Georgia Tech 50. This is Yellow Jacket basketball.
The Cyclones may be working in an upset here. The Big 8 Conference Championship, Iowa State leading Kansas 45-37. That's with 12:40 to go in the second half. Let's go back to Randy and Wes in Greensboro.
All right, thank you, Edgar. Jackets have clawed their way back to within 10 with 7:53 to go. We mentioned, I think a while ago, Duncan's statistics are as he approaches a rebounding record for ACC tournament play, and I don't know if we did include the fact that the guy also has 6 assists, and it is ironic. We mentioned the turnover factor for Tech yesterday. They've only got 6 today, and Wake Forest has 15, but getting the ball down low to Mr. Duncan, the high percentage of successful results when he touches the ball can offset a lot of other mistakes, and that's certainly been the case today.
Georgia Tech trailing 10. As Randy said, with 7:53 left to go. And the Jackets jogging it into the front court with Marbury's dribble. Stephon at the right side, Matt Harpring. Left wing Berry, one dribble, long twos away. Off the mark, no good. Last touch by the Deeks.
Goolsby tried to get a hand on it, and Drew laid off of it after he saw Goolsby knock it toward the out of bounds, toward the corner. Rusty LaRue back in, and Rutland will sit down with that somewhat testy knee.
Yep. I don't know how much Tony can go, but I think the emotion factor is as big as anything here for Dave Odom.
I think he just told Odom he couldn't go.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, here's Harpring at the right side. Up top, Maddox. Left wing, Marbury. Stephano by Braswell. Bumped and fouled. Oh, and he almost scooped the darn thing up. Had he been at the next level, they'd have scored it if it had gone down and given him one.
That was going to be an interesting moment if there was no foul there on Braswell, because Duncan was closing.
Yep.
And Stephon was going to challenge. No question about it. I kind of wish that had happened. I would have liked to see it.
Oh, I thought they were going to give it Marbury free throws. They did not.
No.
So here's Berry at the line. Drew midcourt area left side. Working down the lane. Skips it to Saunders. Thought about the three. Braswell, nice job for Wake Forest. Back to Berry. Now here's Marbury at long range. Inside, here's Maddox to right wing Saunders. A three from there is no good. Gary got knocked down on the play as Peral closed. And with 7 minutes to go on the Marion Berkeley Rolex score clock, it's a 10-point Wake Forest lead at 60-50. Definitely the Deacons' tempo. Illegal screen on Stephen Goolsby. Dave Odom really protesting the call by Dick Paparo.
Paparo said that Goolsby brought the elbow up in setting that screen. It was not a Luckman screen like at Tallahassee that Marbury ran into and then ended up on the deck, but it was illegal.
So here's Tech into the front court again with Marbury, still trailing 10. To cut it to 7, Stephon from deep won't go. Goolsby had the rebound but caught it on the inline out of bounds.
Fortunate now, Wes. They've been down 10, had 2 consecutive possessions here, and now got it back with another chance to cut it to under 10.
Inbounds, here's Marbury. Another crack at the three. Oh, missed badly to the right. Saunders scoops it up. Back to Stephon at the right side, and a new 30. Or no, it did not reset on the miss. It didn't hit anything but the glass. Here's Saunders. Left corner, Drew Berry. Duncan out to contest that. Up to the wing. Back door, here's Maddox. A catch on Peral. Put it up, wouldn't go. Saunders tap follow is good.
Duncan affected Michael's shot.
8-point lead with 6:13 left to go. 60-52. Wake's got their 20 and 3 timeouts. Georgia Tech's got their 20 and 3 timeouts. Or Georgia Tech just has the 3 timeouts as LaRue pumps home a jump shot right of the lane. I think the Deacons were looking for him to have a big day, and he's got 9, and now Bobby Crimmins uses a full timeout. A full timeout now with 5:56 to go in the ball game. Georgia Tech trailing Wake Forest by 10 on the Journal-Constitution scoreboard on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
Jackets had it cut down to 8, but Rusty LaRue came down the right side of the lane. Stephon Marbury was speeding up to him on the defense. He let Marbury blow by, then pulled up, took the jumper, got it back up to a 10-point Wake Forest advantage with 5:56 to go. And the Demon Deacons shooting continues to be just phenomenal. 62.5% overall, 8 out of 12 from three-point range, and that is 66.7%. Jackets, meanwhile, shade under 40 overall, 9 out of 22 for threes, almost 41%.
They've iced up Tony Rutland's knee, put a big ace bandage around it. I think he's done. But he got a lot done while he was in there. 15 points on 5 threes. 62-52 Wake Forest with 5:56 to go. Wake Forest looking to repeat for the first time since NC State in 74-75. as the tournament champion. And, of course, Georgia Tech looking to win their fourth, I should say. They are 3-1 in the finals. Front court, Marbury at the right side. Here is a Berry, the left wing. And it goes to Maddox, back to Berry for a three. That's off the back iron, no good. Saunders with a long rebound. 5:35 left. Gary went baseline and drew the foul. Let's see who that's on. Maybe Ricardo Peral. Yep, or Goolsby.
Gary,
Peral, his third, Randy.
Gary was going baseline. Duncan was there. Gary didn't care. he'll take it to most anybody. I'm not saying the result's always exactly what he wanted, but he's not going to back down.
73-74. Last time repeat champion NC State both years with the great David Thompson. Harpering, a three-pointer from out on the left is good.
Over Duncan.
Yep. Matt Harpering bangs home his sixth field goal, 3 triples, 3 regular field goals, and 15 for the first-team All-ACC pick. 62-55 with 5:17 left. Here's Duncan at the right side against Lisma. Tim at long range. Between the legs, nearly had it knocked away. Got it to Peral, left wing LaRue, and he is bumped and fouled by Marbury. Second on Stefan, 4th team foul on Georgia Tech. Here's the thing you've got to remember as we work our way in the final 5:06 here, Randy. Tech has got 4 team fouls. If it gets to a point where Tech has got to foul, they don't need to be fouling in order to get Wake to the bonus. They need to already have them there. Follow me on that? Does
yes.
that make sense?
And this is the first 7-point hump the Jackets have seen since 26-19.
Here's LaRue working down against Marbury, trying to get it to Duncan with Lisma on his hip. Peral, right wing to Braswell, now to Tim at the right low post, turning, jump hook with the right hand, rolled in. Man, he's feeling it today. 25 for Duncan. Here's Berry coming the other way. Drew left it for Saunders. Runner with the right hand, went in. Half dozen for the Governor here in the second half. 64-57. Tech is in it now with 4:28 to go. Marion Berkeley Rolex score clock. LaRue out in the midcourt area against Marbury. Stefan turned him into the center of the floor. Tried to get it back to the angle, could not. Takes it down the lane, scoops it up and in. 11 for LaRue. Marbury ahead to Drew Berry. He'll take it down, try to dunk it on Peral and draw the foul. Peral's 4th. Comes with 4:09 left to go. And Dave Odom without Tony Rutland may need to go to the bench here on Wake's 7th team foul as Drew was going for the hammer at the 4:09 mark.
Well, that would have put a little more starch in the comeback effort. If he can knock down a couple of free throws here, still back to that 7-point disadvantage.
Berry with a three-pointer to his credit today, and these free throws, first of which is no good.
You don't see him miss short very often. Even when he's hit kind of a funk with his free throws, they haven't normally been short. So I don't know. The fatigue might be coming into play.
Michael for Gary Saunders. Maddox in the lineup. Berry second of 2. Good. 4 now for Drew today. 66-58 with 4:07 to go. Here's LaRue being picked up by Marbury. Got caught in a Duncan pick. LaRue into the front court. Three-pointer from out on the left. Too strong. Peral's got the rebound. Back to LaRue. Inside. Dumps it to Peral. Now to Duncan out on the perimeter with 3:53 left. Wake's got to burn some clock here. 25 to shoot. 3:48 to play. Here's Braswell on the drive. Bails out to Duncan. 14-footer from the left side is good. Left of the lane for Duncan. 27 now for Tim Duncan. 68-58. 3:34 left to go. Here's Maddox. Back to Drew Berry at the right side. He'll whip a no-look to Harpering. Layup good. 68-60 with 3:22 left to go. LaRue crossing into the front court at the right side against Stefan Marbury. Tech needs to get to needs to get it like a half dozen, Randy, make it a 2-trip game. Here's Braswell as we approach the 3-minute mark. Jerry out in the midcourt area. He'll take it down the left of the lane along the baseline. Had it blocked, came off the line, got knocked out. LaRue runs down the loose ball, bounces out of trouble to Allen. He'll skip it all the way back out in the midcourt area to Peral. And now to LaRue with a new shot clock and 2:46 to play. LaRue to Peral, midcourt area to Allen with 17 to shoot. Right wing it comes to Braswell. Into Duncan. Catch, works toward the baseline. Slides it all the way back out to Rusty LaRue. With 6 to shoot. Fakes the 3. 1 step left. Another gun from the wing is good. That's his second 3 of the day. 14 for LaRue. 71-60. Here's Marbury down the lane. Scooped it up. Wouldn't go. Duncan may have blocked it from behind. 2:08 left to play. He'll loop it out to Braswell. In the front court at the left side comes Wake Forest. And a reach-in foul on Berry is his second. Team foul number 5 against Georgia Tech. Comes with 2:02 left to play.
The LaRue 3 may have done it, Wes.
Wake Forest 71, Georgia Tech 60. Timeout on the floor. And on the Journal-Constitution scoreboard, the Deacons with the 11-point advantage on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
The Fan.
Another quick score check from the Big 8 Conference Final in Kansas City. Iowa State leading Kansas now 46-42. That is with 8:40 to go in the second half from Kemper Arena. Back to Greensboro, Wes and Randy.
Okay, Drake, thanks very much. Tim Duncan now has broken Ronnie Shavlich's record for most rebounds in 3 games in the ACC tournament now with 55. He's got 21 today, which ties Shavlich's game record. Most rebounds in the finals against Duke, also in 1955. And for Tech, Drew Berry has become the Yellow Jackets' career assist leader. Today he has 8. That gives him 693 that Travis Best had from 92 to 95. And that is good now for 9th place in the ACC career list. And Duncan has moved into 3rd place on the career rebounding list in ACC play behind Bill Yodkin and also Mike Jaminski of Duke.
It'll be a somewhat bittersweet moment for Drew when he learns about that assist record. He's 1 for 10 from the field today, but if you're going to have that kind of a bug, I guess maybe in the long run better today than next week. I don't know. Duncan, 27 points, 21 boards, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. Kid's got 4 turnovers. Well, it's not very good, is he?
2:02 left to go. Tech trailing 71-60. Ball in play to LaRue. Marbury reached in, knocked it away. And that is Stefan's 3rd 16 foul. Wake will have another spot throw. And Tech has got to get now Wake to the free throw line in order to get enough touches because the Deacons will be just set on burning clock. 2 minutes even to go on the Marion Berkeley Rolex score clock. Here's LaRue against Marbury. They don't want to foul Rusty if they don't have to because he's outstanding at the free throw line, 89%. They tried inside for Allen, and then Sean commits the foul in frustration, his 4th, coming with 1:51 to play in the ball game. And it's the 8th team foul now on Wake Forest. And it's either Alisma or Drew Berry that's going to be going to the line. Drew will go to the line.
It's Drew.
Where he is 1 for 2 today and has 4 points.
Well, that could have turned out a lot worse. A chance to get a couple points with the clock stopped right here.
Now the Jackets can foul here quickly if Berry were to make both of these, Randy, and get the Deacons to the line. Free throw by Berry is good. 5 today for Drew Berry. 71-61. 1:51 left to go. Next one ready. No good. Too strong. Tapped out. Marbury caught it. Got it to Berry, right wing. Harpering a long 2. That's good. Matt Harpering. It's a long 2 for Harpering. And a timeout is called for. And we'll keep it here in Greensboro. A 20-second timeout taken by Georgia Tech or Wake Forest.
Officials? No.
It is a 2-pointer by Harpering. So 71-63, Randy, here with 1:43 left to go.
Well, it turned into a rather unconventional, somewhat strange 3-point
Duncan will put it in play. A quick foul here by Tech will put Wake Forest on the free throw line, by the way.
Full court pressure.
Yep, man-to-man. Duncan can run the inline if he so desires. Larry Rose will hand him the ball. Tim a slap of the ball. Looking for help. Put it in play. Here's Braswell. Marbury tried to bump and foul him. He'll loop it ahead. Allen threw it away. Intended for Allen. Alisma scoops it off. Here's Berry coming down the floor. Lost the handle on it, did Drew. Marbury scoops it up. Stefan rolling in the lane. Left corner, Maddox, a 3. Good! Michael Maddox and a timeout by Georgia Tech. A dozen for Maddox. It's 71-66 with 1:26 left. Wake panicked there, Randy.
Somewhat, and that full court press of Maryland was a negative for Tech yesterday. Jackets full court pressure right there, a positive for Tech today. And then when the ball was stolen, they wasted no time getting it to Drew Berry. He was courting disaster for a moment, nearly lost control of it, but Marbury ended up with it. And Marbury's credit, he was at the top of the key, and if he had taken a three, it would have been moving to his left, somewhat off balance. As usual, he looked for the best option, and the best option was Michael Maddox squared up, faced up, ready to fire in the corner. He pulled the trigger, and it was true. So with 1:26 to go, it is down to 5. It's kind of odd, Wes. I get the feeling this crowd, it's been kind of sitting back all day, obviously. Yeah. The Wake crowd nervously expecting a Georgia Tech run. The Jacket fans hoping for that. It hasn't really come quite yet.
It is a 2-possession game. Wake Forest threw it away against the press there. However, the Deacons now, with their next foul by Georgia Tech, will go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 chance. The next foul by Tech will be their 7th. And above the Deacons that are on the floor, probably the one you want to foul, Tim Duncan at 69%. He's 3 of 4 today, has 27 in the ball game, and 6 assists, I might add. And then Ricky Peral is 73%, has not taken a free throw today. Sean Allen is 71%. If you had to foul somebody, maybe Jerry Braswell at 69%. Stephen Goolsby is 8 of 12. And I go back to the comment I made yesterday about lack of attempts during the course of the regular season. 8 of 12 on the year. Sure, that's a nice percentage, but he hasn't really taken any ones in the big-time pressure. LaRue runs the inline, trying to get it in, looking for Duncan, bails out. There's Goolsby. That's who they need to foul, and they get it done. On Drew Berry on the reach around.
I don't think he meant to do it, though.
I don't either. 7th team foul coming with 1:24 left to go. So here's my theory at work, or at least the one that might sound best at this juncture. You're taking a guy, what, Randy, 8 of 12 on the line, but with a 5-point lead, and Braswell may have to change a jersey here. They may have found some blood on a jersey, and they say he's okay. So
we should remind folks, do not forget Tony Rutland is not in the Wake Forest lineup. They would need him most here as a ball handler and potential critical free throw shooter.
Braswell is bleeding from the chin. Now here's what kind of guy Rutland is. He was ready to rip off his jersey and give it to Braswell. The only problem with that is you can't give him, I don't believe, a number that has already been jotted into the scoreboard.
Right.
He would have to go in under another number. Sean Allen comes into the lineup for the Deacs, and Braswell will sit down while they attend to him quickly. Rutland cannot give up his jersey. They would several schools carry a spare. Remember, we saw Marbury wear the spare up at Kentucky.
After he got a bloody nose.
Yeah. Free throw by Goolsby. No good. Harpring's got the rebound. Here's Tech front court with Berry down. He's bumped, fouled. It won't go. No basket. Wouldn't have counted as LaRue commits the foul.
Again, still a minute 18.
Foul on LaRue's
and a chance at the line.
LaRue's first 19 foul. 1-and-1 for Drew Berry, who is 2 of 4 at the stripe today. And Braswell hustles back in, got the chin attended to. They put a little butterfly bandage on there to keep the cut contained. And Sean Allen out. Here's Berry at the line. Free throw, good. 6 now for Drew Berry. 71-67 with 1:18 left. Saunders to the table. Berry, next one is no good. Duncan's got the rebound. Tim looking for an outlet. In trouble. Fought through on the dribble. Rolls it out to Braswell into the front court with 70 seconds left. Braswell out near the timeline. Caught in a double team. Bounces to Goolsby. Timeout called for by Wake Forest. The Deacs second. They'll have 1 left to go in the ball game with 1:05 left to go. 71-67, a 4-point game now. 1 each in terms of timeouts remaining in the contest.
Well, when you've been down as many as 18, I think it's kind of hard to get greedy, but if that free throw, the second one by Drew, had gone, then we all know what being down by 3 means. Means 1 potential shot. Let's have a check of the scoreboard right now.
Okay, Randy, the Big 8 Conference Final going from Kansas City. It's 4:20 remaining in the second half. The score, 48 for Iowa State, Kansas 48. That ball game tied again with 4:20 to go in the second half of action. 3 o'clock tip-off, about 9 minutes until then. Kentucky and Mississippi State, that's the SEC final from the Superdome in New Orleans. And the Big West Conference Championship going out west is Utah State running with San Diego State this afternoon. Back to Greensboro, West Durham, Randy Waters.
All right, Edgar, thanks. 4-point game here, 65 seconds left. Tim Duncan Win, lose, or draw is probably going to be the MVP of this event. Single game rebounding record now tied of Ron Shavlik's. Duncan had 20 a year ago. He's got 21 today, tying Shavlik's record of 1955 when he had 21 in a 10-point win against Duke. Duncan has set the 3-game record here today with now in the ball game. I guess Tim has got about 57 rebounds. Yes, 57 rebounds in the 3-game tournament after wins over Virginia, Clemson, and today in the finals against Georgia Tech. 71-67 with 1:05 left.
They've found him at about the same pace in each half, Wes. He had 8 shots first half. Up to this point, 8 shots in the second half. So they're consistent in what they do, no question about it. It's just tough to stop it.
Goolsby is the guy who missed the 1-and-1 a minute ago. Let's see if the Jackets try and get Steven to the line. Braswell, a 69% free throw shooter, has not been there today either. Tech has got Saunders, Berry, Marbury, and Maddox off the ball. Harpering will guard Peral's inbound pass. Spot throw in for Ricky Peral. He got it into Goolsby, and he's caught the double team, and he went backcourt. Right at the timeline, they're in no man's land. Oh, Randy, that's where you hate to take it. 19th turnover on Wake Forest. 71-67, 1 minute left. Marbury working at the right wing. Left wing, Drew Berry. He'll take it down on LaRue. Bounce it out, Maddox. Three-pointer is good! Tech to within 1, 71-70 with 48 seconds left. LaRue caught in a double team. Got to get rid of it. Fires cross court. Braswell there, and a reach-in foul on Maddox. Michael Spiff comes with 42.6 left to go. Maddox is going to foul out of the game with 15 points. And he's had a whale of an ACC tournament.
Michael committed that foul, and I know you're sitting at home thinking, okay, had to foul. Well, yeah, but he thought he had a shot at the steal. Got there about a step too late. He was going for the steal initially, and then when Braswell got around him, he had to go ahead and foul. 42.6 to go, and Wes and I have selected Stephon Marbury, our Texaco star of the game. The Georgia Tech Athletic Association would like to thank Texaco for their generous contributions to the Alexander Tharp Scholarship Fund.
Timeout was called for, or actually, it's Alisma who checks back into the lineup. I'm not necessarily sure they used the timeout there. Here is Braswell at the line for a 1-and-1, 69% free throw shooter. His first free throw of the day, 71-70. With 42.6 seconds left to go. Wake Forest by 1. Free throw by Jerry, good. 3 for Braswell. 72-70. Well, we thought this thing go to the wire. It just took a while. These two teams can't play anything but stand in the middle of the ring punches. 73-70. Braswell knocks the next one down. 41 seconds left. Bobby Crimmins shouting at Marbury. He'll take it down, up on the glass, in! Marbury with a bucket. In it comes to Braswell, and he's fouled quickly by Harpring. 73-72 with 32.7 left to go. Harpring's third. 9th team foul on Georgia Tech, Randy, with 32.7 left to go, and Wake leading by 1 at 73-72.
Tells you something about the mentality, the lack of panic, okay? Around 40 seconds to go. You're 3 down. Did they force a 3 to tie? No, Marbury, thinking that's what Wake would be defending, took the alley and got the 2 to get back within 1.
Braswell ready on the free throw. Good. Jerry's knocked down 3 big ones here, hasn't he? 74-72. Shot clock is off, so Tech may have to look for the 3 on this
time. Yeah, might have to.
Braswell, next one, good. Marbury did a good job of hustling there to get the angle. Let's see if Tech will hold for 1. Here's Marbury going all the way down. Had it blocked from behind, out of bounds by Tim Duncan. It'll belong to Georgia Tech as he took it quickly on the right. Now let's see what the Jackets go for.
Still 25 seconds. They're going for 3. Bobby's holding up the 3.
Alisma, Harpring, Marbury against Braswell. Stephon in the lane, put it up, draws the foul on Braswell with 19 seconds left.
Only
that may not be
6 seconds, yeah.
That may not be so bad for Wake Forest, though.
Yeah.
If you look at it from a Deacon perspective. Marbury will now go to the line for a pair on Wake's 10th team foul, Randy.
He could get it to 1 again.
And then the Jackets would have to foul again to stop the clock.
And wouldn't wait long at all before doing it.
Got to hit them both, you got to believe, though. First one ready, good. Georgia Tech trailing 75-73 now with 19.4 left to go in this 43rd ACC tournament final. Stefan ready on the next one. Arches it up, and it's good, too. So Marbury now with 26 in the ball game here today. LaRue's got to get it in play, does so to Duncan. Caught in the double team, and they foul Tim Duncan. That'll be 10 now on Georgia Tech in terms of team fouls. Foul is on Harpering, and 18 seconds, just 1.7 off the clock, Randy, on that exchange. It is on Harpering, and it is his 4th. Right. You got to start looking at this thing from a Tech standpoint of what if it goes to the OT. Duncan is 3 of 4 at the line. These are 2 shots coming. Tim's got 27 today. You hear Larry Rose tell everybody 2 shots. Tony Rutland, head down over on the bench. Duncan missed the free throw. Short. 75-74.
Drew Barry walking right in front of Duncan, clapping, not looking him in the eye. They're pretty good friends, as we understand.
Yep.
But they're going at it.
Here's Duncan ready on the next one. It's no good. Saunders with a rebound to Marbury. Stefan through the jump circle with 14, 13, 12 to the right side with 10. He's going to go for the win. Marbury backs it out at the right with 5, 4, fall away jumper in the air, hit the side of the glass. It'll belong to Wake Forest with 2.3 left. He was trying to draw contact a lot like he did against Carolina and Chapel Hill, and he didn't get the shot. Does Wake Forest want a timeout? Deacons will have it. Georgia Tech have a timeout? Yes, one left.
One.
Wake also has one. 2.3 left. Mark Scott, the walk-on on the Wake Forest bench from Chapel Hill, whose primary duty is to be captured hugging Tim Duncan in newspaper photos across the country, has gone out and grabbed the junior All-America again.
Well, the Marbury legend nearly grew again by leaps and bounds there, Wes. He just went a little too deep on the baseline, got some contact, but not enough to get a call in this situation.
So Wake 75, Georgia Tech 74 with 2.3 left. Well, we've been on the edge of our seat again today here, Randy.
It was, we've been slowly reeled up toward that edge,
yep.
I guess you could say, after being down.
Wake Forest fans were about half asleep with about 6 minutes to go.
They really were. And it's interesting you say that, Wes. That was exactly the same scenario. Stefan to his right, down to the baseline when he hit the shot against North Carolina in Chapel Hill to send that one into overtime. Then McGinnis missed at the end of regulation, and Jackets won it in OT.
Give Marbury credit, Randy. He knew if he took it in the lane and he got clobbered, there probably would not be a whistle.
Exactly. And, well, he's said all along, I want the ball when it matters the most. Great players make great plays. And now, let me add something to that. Great players don't make great plays every time.
Right.
Nobody does. No one. And you just have to, it's like being a defensive back in football. When you get burned, you have to have the mentality to go on.
Remember now, Georgia Tech was successful in stealing a last-second inbounds pass in Winston-Salem. Marbury missed the 3 that would have tied the game in regulation. Just 2.3 left to go here. Deacon's biggest task, they've got to get it inbounds. Spot throw in for LaRue. Couple of screens, and we get a foul by Saunders. Nicely done against Goolsby. Now with 2.3 left to go. So it'll be 2 shots for Stephen Goolsby out of Marietta. Played for Charlie Hood. And let's pause 10 seconds. Station identification here on the Georgia Tech Basketball Network.
WCNN North Atlanta. We keep track of all sports, so you don't have to. Sports Talk 680, The Fan.
2 shots for Stephen Goolsby. Wake 75, Georgia Tech 74. 2.3 seconds left to go. Goolsby's 0 for 1 there today. Free throw ready. Nope, short. Oh, I think he's feeling it. Don't you?
I'm feeling it.
He barely got it there.
I'm feeling it up here.
Goolsby ready on the next one. It's also short. Barry will have to hurry. 2-1 from midcourt. Off the back glass, no good. Wake Forest has held on to win their second consecutive ACC championship and join the 1973-74 NC State Wolfpack as the last team to win back-to-back tournament titles. The Deacons and Jackets, for a third time this year, do it in high drama. This time, Wake Forest coming out on the high side, 75-74. Tim Duncan, 27 points, 21 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals, and he had to go the full 40 to do it for Dave Odom's second tournament title. A timeout.